Some of the excuses they're coming up with, I mean, it's I don't know whether you can play some violin music alongside this one, but since 2020, when the company was set up, housing market conditions have changed, and this has affected the whole industry. Yeah, but we're not buying things at reduced land costs. Providing social housing is just not worth doing because there ain't enough money in it. These are not the words of some greedy private sector developer, but these are the words of Labour councils whose job it is to provide social housing. To unpick this, surely this cannot be true story, I'm joined by Andrew Roberts. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Ranjan.
What sort of world are we in when socialist councils say they don't want to provide social housing?
Well, I think Keir Starlin is really going to have to up his game a bit here. He wants to build 1.5 million new homes, yet the councils, I mean, we're talking Central Bedfordshire here.
Let's talk about, but there are a few, it's not just one, but let's talk about Central Bedfordshire.
Central Bedfordshire, we'll pick that one as the first offender. 250 new homes they're going to build. They've spent £600,000. They started the business back in 2020 and they've not delivered any homes, and they've decided the cost of building materials has gone up, the market has changed and it's not economic and they'll lose money renting homes. Huh?
Well, it's hardly surprising. We've covered this on this channel many times. Councils cannot run businesses. Why the hell is a council setting up a business to do anything? You know, the mindset is not there. If you're a council, how do you make your revenue? You make your revenue by imposing council tax on people, and if you don't pay, you go to jail. In the private sector, you cannot get your customers to pay you and then threaten them with going to jail. It just doesn't work like that. So that's why these people just don't have a foggiest idea when it comes to opening and running a business, which is why they always fail.
Well, what's even more incredulous here is you and I as private developers have to pay a Section 106 and SIL contribution. They don't pay it.
They get out of that.
They don't even have to pay that. So they haven't even got a level playing field. They've got an advantage playing field, and they've got cheaper debt.
They've got cheaper debt, of course, because the public sector can borrow at lower costs. They're using council-owned land, which they're getting at low rates, and they're obviously got some sort of fast track through the planning system. So a lot of the disadvantages or hurdles that we in the private sector have to face, they're all smoothed over for those guys. And they still can't make it work.
They can't make it work. I mean, let's go to Reading, another council. It's been running since 2015, I believe it was, a private company providing its social housing. So the council put its social housing into a private business. It's evicting all of those tenants, saying that it's losing money, and it's bringing it back under council control, and they're going to be given to key workers. So if you're a fireman, a nurse, a doctor, a policeman, you'll qualify. But if you're a social housing tenant, sorry, our doors are shut in Reading.
But why is it, another point is, that when people talk about key workers, how come locksmiths never qualify? Answer that in the comments below.
Oh, Ranjan. If you think he should stop giving jokes, comment below. That was terrible. But come on, councils, their prima facie raison d'etre is to provide social housing. So that's two councils both pulling out of council housing. I mean, another council, and this one, this is even better. I mean, we've got
some of the excuses they're coming up with. I mean, it's I don't know whether you can play some violin music alongside this one, but since 2020, when the company was set up, housing market conditions have changed, and this has affected the whole industry. Yeah, but we're not buying things at reduced land costs, fast track planning, no.
No. The land is free for them because
exactly.
That's a quote from Central Bedfordshire, and Central Bedfordshire are using land they already own. And it doesn't stack up, adding the build costs on, and they're losing money. You've got free land, no Section 106, no sill, and all the money is coming at a discount. How can you not make it work? Sorry, I mean, come on. I mean, Nottingham Council, now this one gets even better. They are serving Section 21s. I mean, we're talking right to buy in another one of our breaking news stories. If you haven't seen it, check it out, it's up here. But Nottingham Council are not doing a right to buy, they're doing a right to sell. Now this is great. They basically were set up in 2016 and they're operating illegally apparently. So they're having to serve Section 21 notices, contrary to government policy where they're getting rid of Section 21 notices to sell your house, to evict the tenants, social housing tenants, so they can sell the houses and repay £18 million of debt that they've built up. How can this happen? Ranjan, how can this happen?
The question is, if the landlord looks to sell, I understand there's a proposed new hardship test, which will gauge how hard up the landlord is.
Yeah.
The question is, how hard up is this council?
Well, that's a good question there. In 6 months, they've already overspent the budget by 10%, and it's predicted they will overspend the council's budget by 20% by the end of the year. So I think they're hard up. But that said, they still spending 261 million, that's the budget. And it's over 300 million. So yeah, I suppose they're 50 million black hole in that council budget. But they're using the no-fault eviction route to evict them. It's incredulous.
It's absolutely crazy. I think couple of things here. I mean, the public sector should not get involved in running businesses. It's not what that's about. Focus, if you're a local authority, focus on emptying the bins once a week rather than once a month or whatever, and do some social housing, but don't try to run it as a company and make a profit. That's not what you are about.
No, Ranjan, councils should come to the bakerstreetpropertymeet.com every month where they can learn from us how to do property investing profitably and take home some great golden nuggets. We've got spaces for 300 people, so there's 311 councils. You can join us every month and turn your business around so that it becomes a profitable housing business like ours.
Exactly. Partner with us in the private sector. We have the know-how. We share with our attendees each and every month the latest strategies to make housing delivery work and make it work profitably. So you can learn all the expertise from myself, Andrew, and our guest speakers, and of course 300 attendees each and every month. Baker Street Property Meet. Join us at the next meeting, bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.